So as you can see, the rain is going to be a problem today. Not sure if lightning will be an issue, but rain will definitely be an issue. Looking at the forecast, it appears that the chance of rain is less this afternoon. So hopefully Jay will be able to get the drone in the air then, but I wouldn't hold your breath. Jay's going to try to do some camera on a stick stuff if possible, but depending on the amount of rain, it may not be possible. So it could be very, very difficult. Yes, I agree. You definitely need a weather miracle. Shooting at bags is not fun. So looking at welcome everybody to Saturday. I was running that weather because as you can see, the weather is not conducive to much of anything, especially trying to fly a drone in the air in the rain. So very, very difficult. Plus, you don't want to ruin the drone, not for the price of a drone. So, unfortunately, Jay is unable to get a drone in the air at the moment. This little bit of black edge on that screen is driving me crazy. There we go. So, wanted to look at Squad 201 and John Vlieger, David Wampler, Kevin Garospi, all on that squad. Wes Carson is on that squad. He's a masterclass CO shooter, as well as some others. But John shooting open and being the high level shooter that he is, the reigning single stack national champion, he is favored to win this match. The match is running behind because of the weather, I'm sure. So it doesn't look like they've really been able to get much shooting in. It's 10-10, and Practice Score Competitor app is basically showing they fired one, I'm guessing one stage. So let's see. What has John completed? Yeah, one stage. So where? Oh, no. I'm sorry. He's two stages 4 and 5. And right now he is the stage winner on those stages. So they haven't gotten to 6 yet. They have shot 2, but yesterday they would have been way ahead of this because it's right here. Whoop. Squad 201 right now They shot 4, 5. At 9:30, they should have been on 6, and they are not. So they are definitely running behind. And stage 6 is chrono and the stage, but still, they're definitely behind. Whereas yesterday they were about a half hour ahead. Well, 20 to 30 minutes ahead. Now they're significantly behind. Squad 201 is an all-day squad. They opted to shoot all the stages in one day. It looks like there's only 2 of them, 2 all-day squads, 201 and 202. So 201 will shoot zone 1 in the morning, zone 2 in the afternoon, while 202 does the exact opposite. They shoot zone 2 in the morning and zone 1 in the afternoon. So we'll wait. Hopefully Jay will come on and chat with us a little bit. But let's talk about some of the information that Jay has prepared using his ELO software. And we're going to start with Mr. Vlieger. We'll go down. This is what we'll do. This is how we're going to do it. We will, let me remove that. Go back to here. Oh, come on. What is going on here? There we go. All right. We're going to go down in the order that they sit right now based on points. And we're going to talk about Mr. Vlieger first. Now, these are Jay's notes. This is what he's determined based on his ELO software. So that the rankings and performance that they've had over the past however many since 2018. So 6.5 years, almost 7 years. Arguably the second best open competitor in the U.S. right now by World Shoot standings, but also ELO. Reigning single stack national champion and open Area 5 champion. The favorite to win this weekend. So he has been gaining substantially over the last year or so. So he said, as a matter of fact, Jay even put in here, climbing an ELO at nationals is extra challenging. Lots of points up for grabs, but also lots of stiff competition. But that's what he's been doing. So he's peaking at the moment. So, oh, Jay might be in the house. So now we're going to talk about Mr. Wampler, local guy to me. Number 29 ELO all-time open shooter. Now again, remember, all-time means since 2018, because as Jay and I were talking yesterday, the amount of data in practice score prior to that gets a little sketchy, even in some of the spreadsheets I've done, going back as far as I can in practice score. You get to a point where even area matches start disappearing. The data's not there. But so since 2018, he is number 29 all time. And now shooting limited optics with Team Atlas, where he's number 22. Now, limited optics is new, so these could change. ELO chart tells a tale of increasing comfort in limited optics, steady at first, but rising. He was third last weekend at Del Marva, behind Tanner Donges and Kevin Grosby. I think I got that right now, Tanner. He has 502 stages in major matches between open and limited optics. The 37th most prolific open shooter since 2018, which brings us to another local guy to me, Kevin Grosby. As a matter of fact, we even live in the same subdivision. So he's a limited optics grandmaster, open grandmaster. He is number 24 ELO all-time open shooter. Also now in limited optics on Team Atlas with Tanner Dunges. Slightly more prolific than his buddy Wampler, slightly fewer open stages, but more limited optics stages for a total of 515 major match stages. On an almost uninterrupted upward run since the start of 2025. Almost translated to a win at Delmarva. I think he got edged out. I was looking at it yesterday by Tanner Dunges at Delmarva by, I think it was like 2 points, and Dave was 5 points behind Tanner. So they were all, so Team Atlas had 1, 2, and 3 at Delmarva, and they were all breathing down each other's neck. Dave even made a post that it went back and forth all the way till the end. So that had to be a little nerve wracking as well as awesome because it's going to push each other. You know, seeing how a teammate runs something might help you, but it's also going to motivate you knowing where the standard has been set. So that helps push a little bit. Michael K. Yep, Michael K. First major in limited optics, but 21 stages in carry optics and production. He, in 2023, his production majors were the Florida State and Space City, which is Houston. Carry optics major were 2024 Michigan Sectional and Buckeye Blast. So maybe a change in geography. Then you have Patrick Puchala, 75th percentile in B, 74 stages and major matches in 2024 to include Buckeye Blast, Michigan Section, Barry's Red Rock Rumble, Arizona State, Area 4, and Area 2. So he was quite busy last year. Put some miles on either his frequent flyer card or his vehicle. Next, on here it's Dustin Potter. So let's find Dustin Potter down here. Here we go. Carry optics A class, 225 stages across 17 major matches. He saw significant ELO gains in 2023 and 2024. Won A class and got very close to some big Northeastern names like Ben Shashevsky and Keanu Sai at Maryland State in 2023. Oh, I already talked about Patrick there. So let's go to Wes Carson now. Wes Carson, Carry Optics Master, 83.9% alphas. Hey, how you doing, Mark? Mark Schulte in the house, Bigfoot Brass, one of the stage sponsors there at the Buckeye Blast. So Wes Carson, definitely high percentage of alphas at basically 84%. On a bit of a plateau lately after steady growth in 2023 and a rapid rise at the end of 2024. But we're at the beginning of the season. So, you know, sometimes it takes a little bit to get ramped up. He might be one of those guys who, you know, focuses on something else during the off season and it takes them the season to kind of get back into the flow of things. Joseph White. Let's see if there's anything down here on Mr. White. Joseph White, Carry Optics A class. So I had to read it before I could say it. Yeah. Yeah, Mark. I don't know if play in the rain is right or you're going to go play in small ponds. So the rain with small ponds. It's definitely going to be a wet one. So Joseph White is the best Joseph at the Joseph White at Buckeye Blast is the best Joseph White in USPSA. There is another one apparently. Jay said he's probably RO'd him before because he's been to at least 3 or 4 matches that he staffed. in the pre-media days anyway. Averages 8th place A class or 37.6% overall. Michael Rounds, B class limited optics, 207 stages in carry optics, 110 in open, and 30 previous in limited optics. Possibly a bit underrated in limited optics. He's a solid B in carry optics and open. So he might still be becoming familiar with the gun and the division. Embrace the suck. Isn't that the truth? 100%. Nicole Pachula. I think nope. Let me find her real quick. I can't scroll too fast or I'll lose it. So this is her first appearance in Jay's ELO ratings. So he couldn't find any other information on her since 2018. So this could potentially be her first major match. And Audrey Evans, C-Class Production. I know she's in here. This is her first appearance also, but she potentially had a name change. So, and if so, if she was another Audrey before, then she has 34 stages over 3 Ohio and Michigan area matches. So in that case, this would not be her first rodeo, as it appears to be for Nicole. So that's where we're at right now. Let's see if they have started shooting any other stages yet. And they have. So it looks like they are at stage 6. Let's go right here. Yep, there we go. Oh, 4 of them have shot. Oh, Nicole, we just talked about her. So Dustin Potter, A-Class CO right now, is leading that squad on stage 6. Looks like he had an excellent time with excellent hits. 22 alphas, 2 Charlies in 2293, because Kevin's a quick dude. He was 2285, but his hits weren't quite there. 15 alphas, 7 Charlies, and 2 deltas. Michael K actually had a no shoot. That hurts. That's going to leave a mark. And Nicole had 4 misses. So I think I'm going to have to check out the stage here. Let me scroll back up to stage 6. Stage 6 is the Y. Okay. That's where you have to cross the stage. You have to, the left stem of the Y, at that place, you've got to activate the steel for a swinger on the right stem. So you've got to run across. So let me, Jay, are you there? Hold on, gentlemen. Let me. Jay, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can, and I can see you. Man, you are clear.
Yeah, I'm on the. So rather than the drone, this is a phone plugged into my audio box. So I'm standing actually down here, just across from stage 1. We're still waiting on 201 to finish up there on stage 6. I've been following along a bit on the headphones, and yeah, looking like, as you say, a pretty soggy day. We had a brief patch earlier where I was hoping it might get a little bit light enough to maybe put the drone up, but it's starting to pick back up again. So.
Okay.
Yeah, glad I was able to join you in this format, at least for the time being.
Right.
Yeah, I think once Squad 201 gets down here, I don't know if you talked about this, but the style of programming is probably going to be more like Dave doing commentary today. I'm going to do what I can to get stage runs on my classic little Skycam setup here, and I'll put those up for Dave to pull down and bring into the stream.
If I run out of things to talk about, I'm just going to turn it into karaoke.
Nice.
Nobody
Well,
wants to hear that.
one of the most interesting parts of baseball broadcasts is rain delay theater, right? So why not shooting too?
There, we need people running onto the field, sliding in the water. That's what we need. We need
Yep.
we need that.
Absolutely.
Oh goodness. Yeah. Yeah. It looks
Yeah.
like.
So definitely,
Go ahead.
was it definitely a day of challenging conditions for the competitors out here. We had about, well, I don't know, half an hour, 45, well, about 2 stages worth of good weather before the rain picked up. I spent most of that. I happened to be waiting down here. I'm sorry, I'm getting notifications on my stream because this is just my phone that's plugged in. Um, I was going to say started over there on stages 2 and 3 with the Hillsdale team. Got to get some of their stage runs on non-live drone, like non-live drone. So I'll try and edit those later today. Got some interviews with a couple of the athletes off of that team as well, which I'll also try and put up as I have time.
Okay. Anything scheduled to talk to anybody or?
That was the big one I had on my list, the Hillsdale guys. But of course, as I see people, interviews I think are one of the things that I can do most easily in the rain. Although my little windsock on my microphone has gotten pretty damp already. But
Oh
yeah,
wow.
as I see interesting folks, I'll try and catch them for a couple of minutes and see if we can't get some interviews out of them.
Okay. Yeah. It looks like there's what. Right now there's an hour scheduled for lunch, but I'm sure if they're too far behind, that hour for
That might
lunch
get
is
cut
probably
down.
going to
Yeah.
be whittled down to 5 minutes. But
Yeah, I wouldn't expect us to. Yeah, obviously, wouldn't expect us to start earlier than 1:30 for the afternoon. But I don't think there's going to be much risk of we're that far ahead either.
okay. Yeah, that's right. You've got the squads shooting this afternoon and tomorrow morning that start at 1:30.
Yep.
So yeah, you couldn't start too soon because then
Yeah, I
you
will
may
say
have
on a
people
technical
late.
note. On a technical note, this hands-free microphone is really nice because I can keep my hands in my pockets, which is good on a day like today.
Yeah, I saw that the temperature looks like it's the feels like temperatures in the 40s.
Yeah, it's absolutely good to. I shot a lot of matches in the cold this year and haven't fully taken all my layering gear out of my car, so I've got I'm repping the home club, Castlewood Rod and Gun in Pennsylvania, underneath my rain jacket today.
There you go. So Mark Schulte just commented that he'll be there soon, and you can chat with him if you like.
Yeah, I actually can probably get it set up so I could just plug in my. Well, no, I can. Yeah, no, my bag's in my car here. So if he's Mark, if you're still listening, come by and maybe find me on stage one, and I'll plug the interview mic into my little sound box up there, and we can chat right here.
There you go. That would work. Now, would you be able to hear me, or are you going to have to record that off live?
I'll be able to hear you while we're doing it, but Mark won't. So anything you want to ask him, you'll have to relay through me.
Okay, that's not a problem. I mean, that's normally how
Yeah,
it's done anyway in sports, so it's all good. Well, for the most part, until they come up to the
yeah.
on-field studio. So
Still no Squad 201 on the way yet. Do you know how deep they are in the order up there?
yeah, give me 1 second, and I can update you right now. Oh, come on. All right. It still looks like only 4 have shot. It looks like Dustin, Kevin, Michael K, and Nicole Pachula are the only ones who have shot. Patrick should be
I,
up.
I suppose they have a. It's not a tremendously difficult stage reset, but between bags and a mover, I'm sure it's taking a little bit longer.
Right. Yeah. Well, it seemed like she had shots, like her score was up before we started chatting.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah. So there's been a delay. I don't know what happened after she
Yeah,
shot.
it could be So I know one of the wireless repeaters on this side of the bay was not working. On this side of the range, rather, was not working yesterday, and it's the one that's kind of down on that side by stages 4 through 6. So if that's still offline, it might be just intermittent Wi-Fi.
Oh, for their pad to connect,
Yep.
their tablet. Okay. Well, then that would make sense. Go back to stage 6.
I guess
Try to
one of the other
update
nice
this.
things, if you can call anything about this weather nice, is that the wind is such that if I park facing the direction I'm parking, uh, even though the hatch on my car is not super big, it's the wind is pushing the rain against it, so I'm kind of in a nice dry-ish spot right now.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yep.
think you were right about the spotty connection because I just refreshed it and now we have 6 people that are completed. John and Dave Wampler both have shot. So,
So I'm curious what the scores are looking like between Wampler, Garospi, and Nerdonges. Since that, after Delmarva last weekend, where all three of them were within, I don't know, a couple of match points, and certainly between Tanner and Kevin. Whether that
right.
battle is looking tight again today, or if it's opened up a bit.
Right. Gotcha. Now, all right, I'm going to throw something out as a potential reason. So, after Nicole should have been her, I'm assuming her husband, Patrick, because they share the same
Mm.
last name. But I have scores for Vlieger and Wampler, but nothing for Patrick. So I'm wondering if the delay was maybe a DQ or something,
That's possible. With
or
the
or
weather today,
or a, or a stage
or,
issue. So he's got a
yeah,
reshoot coming up.
yeah, the footing's tricky today for sure, and stage issue also possible. There is, like I said, an activator down there, so there could be some manner of reshoot.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I will
that's what
say
I was thinking too.
yeah, the wind is in a better direction for poppers today. So yesterday the wind was kind of at our backs, blowing from the south to the north, which obviously makes popper setting much more difficult. Today though, it's blowing from, well, is it? Well, yeah. For here, I'm parked facing north, and if I put my hand out here, I can feel the wind coming from north to south, which means it's kind of blowing over top of the berms, hopefully missing a lot of the steel that's set in the back of the bays, and hopefully making setting it for the right weight easier today.
Probably blowing over the top of a lot of targets too. Then at least the ones in the back of the stage, the bag.
Yeah, if I looking up over my car, I can see the bags on stage one, and not many of them are flapping around as much as I'd expect if they were in the wind. If they were in the wind that I can feel back here.
Okay. Is it currently raining at the moment?
Drizzling, I'd say. It's not raining heavily, but there is some rain coming
Okay.
down.
So there is some precipitation.
Yeah, so I was hoping for a patchier sort of showerier day with maybe intermittent heavier rain and then dry in between. But so far, it's looking like we are on a just a fairly light rain but steady rain kind of day. Actually, looking at the forecast, there was a stationary front line basically passing directly over the range, which is not usually a great recipe for weather that blows through quickly. But I've got my fingers crossed. I'd like to be able to get some more aerial stuff by the end of the day.
This is really weird. Uh, Before I say anything, I just noticed a very strange oddity here with that stage. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's just really, the connection's got to be really patchy because there were people that should have had scores up that didn't, and now they're popping up. So
Mm, yeah.
it's really hard to kind of follow the scores
Who's
because you never know which score is going to come through.
you don't know who's where.
Right. But at the
Pardon me for just
moment,
a
it looks
moment.
like 8 scores have
Is it?
completed on 6. Go ahead.
Pardon me for just a moment. I'm going to pop around the other side of my car and get my extra phone so I can take a look at some scores as well and see if we can maybe talk about that for a bit while we wait for 201 to make their way down here.
Okay. we're going to stay on this screen since Jay is just coming right back. So I'm not sure what's going on with Patrick Pachula. I'm thinking either a reshoot or a DQ because he has been skipped over. So
Yeah, Practical Shooting Live, at least my part of it, runs primarily on cell phones. So I've got my spare one here that I'm going to use to look at scores. You're currently looking at me on one, and if I turn my camera around real quick, you can see that I've got a second one here in the, or third rather, in the AV wagon, serving as the monitor for what's going out over this over the video link for me.
that's a lot of wires, Jay.
It is a lot of wires. Some of them are longer than they need to be for this purpose because I wanted them to be long enough for setting up the transmitter relatively far away. But today the transmitter is just sitting on the the little parcel shelf in the back of my car, pointing at Red Feather where my base station set up.
Okay.
Indoors today since yesterday. The rain got a little bit sideways yesterday and got onto some of my more fragile electronics, and B, since I figured I'm mostly going to be on this on these front 6 stages, given the weather and the fact that I might not be up in the air much. I want to be able to walk around and see things more readily than I can on the far side.
So the most pressing question right now, Jay, that everybody wants to know is how many world famous Southern barbecue breakfast burritos did you consume this morning?
I did have the one. I'm looking forward to having my second one tomorrow as well.
Okay, just one.
Yeah,
all right,
just one. I mean, they are world famous for a reason.
They are, and they go fast.
They do. I was chowing down as I got into the range. That's actually the first stop I made when I pulled in was straight to barbecue for my burrito fix. And as I was eating it, I said to myself, "Man, that man can make a burrito."
I'm waiting for someone to drive their vehicle all the way over to his trailer to get a burrito one day. Somebody's going to do it. Somebody's going to drive right up to make sure that they get that burrito. I know it. So we're also waiting on Michael Round's score to come through. I'm going to have to hit refresh here and see if it's come up yet. But his was another name that was kind of skipped over. Yeah, I'm still only showing 8 scores right now for stage 6.
Yeah, I think they might actually have just finished because I see some people walking out of that bay and down this direction.
Okay. Well, I mean, it would make sense.
So, like I said, we'll give them a couple of minutes for their walkthrough. I'm almost at the point where I can look at the scores I wanted to look at and maybe share a quick update on those. And then, given the way the weather looks, I'm probably going to be, as we said earlier, doing the handheld camera and sending some footage up to Dave to share with you guys as live as we can make it. It might not be quite as live as yesterday, but we'll do our best.
Yeah, and it looks like there's going to be a better chance, not much, but a better chance to maybe get the drone up this afternoon.
Yeah. Well, if it's looking good, I might be able to. Well, potentially at least. I don't want to make any promises because
Right.
I don't necessarily want to be setting up outside when the 201 squad is going to be on the far side of the range, and I need to be outside for the to get the signal to go that far. But yeah, we will do what we can.
Absolutely. Yeah, tomorrow's
so I've got Tanner here. Where is?
And I have been saying his name right, so I did correct myself.
Who?
Tanner Dunges.
Oh yes, yeah. He's that was actually the first thing I asked him when I ran into him at registration because we've talked about him a great many times and have not yet. I never actually figured out how his name was supposed to be pronounced. So I decided I'll do some journalism and get it straight from the man himself.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Tomorrow doesn't look any better than today. Well, it says chance of rain tomorrow during the day, 50%. So that actually is better than today.
Yeah. by a pretty big margin, sadly. I think
Yeah.
the forecast I saw last night was 100% chance of rain for today, which
Yes.
so far has not been wrong.
Right.
Yeah, so
And I
looking at
did.
this, go on.
Go ahead.
The score I wanted to see, Tanner versus Wampler and Garospi. So far, they actually haven't overlapped on any stages. Wampler and Garospi rolling up now on stage one, and this will be the first stage that they've shot that Tanner has also shot.
Ah, okay. There we go.
So a little bit of drama there to see how. Um, Actually,
Yes.
David is ahead so far between Wampler and Garospi. So we'll get to see how David and Kevin tackled this stage, how they do compared to Tanner, especially given I think the conditions they're shooting in are a little bit more challenging than the ones that Tanner had yesterday afternoon. At least, probably in general. I think there was heavier rain yesterday, but before and after that, it was relatively clear and relatively pleasant.
Yeah, Kevin's probably not having the match that he wants to have right now. He's currently fourth on that squad.
Oh wow, yeah,
But yeah, I'm still showing we're still missing scores. So
yeah. If I turn on high available, this is my first time running competitor on this particular phone. So
okay,
yeah,
it's gonna take you a slight second
look,
to
actually
figure it all
a
out.
fairly good day, a fairly consistent day too for Isaac McLaren. Um, I suppose yesterday and now this morning.
Yeah, it's still even though they're down on stage one right now. I'm still missing four scores from that stage
On
six.
stage
So
six. Yeah.
yeah.
Let's see. I think I see Squad 201 now taking their official walkthrough on this stage. I'm pretty sure. Maybe. Oh, no, I see. There's the RO calling them together for story time. So we'll let them tackle that, and then probably I will drop off and get ready to start providing what I can as far as live footage goes. And so, Dave, I've also got my controllers hooked up and the drones ready to go. Just if there's a break in the weather, I'll be in the air, and we can hopefully get some aerial stuff today too.
Okay, that would be fantastic.
All right. So that there's your update from the field from me, and I guess I will probably rejoin in this format at some point later on in the day, likely leading up to our last scheduled stop of the morning. Although I think our last scheduled stop of the morning was actually on the other range, and rather on the other side of the range. So I'm probably going to end up finding somebody else on this half to take a look at.
Okay.
Once we're done with 201.
We'll pop in from time to time. It's going to be hard to talk this whole time.
I will do what I can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All
All
right.
right, Jay.
Well, I will leave you to it, and I will shoot you a message once I've got some video for you to look at.
All right. Sounds good. All right. That brings us back here. So it's pronounced Tanner 1.5 eyeballs dodge a wrench. Well, we're going to have to figure out what that means, what all that means. I mean, I think I know what the reference is, but I'm not sure how that applies to Tanner. So very interesting. So this is what I was saying, and this is what Jay was mentioning that there's a repeater on the range for the Starlink system at Colonel Shooting Center. Apparently was giving them fits yesterday. So it's still giving us some fits today. The scores are kind of trickling in from stage six. So as you see here, I'm still missing four scores at the moment. Oop. So, but John Vlieger does have the overall lead on stage six. Wampler's fourth, Joey Sauerland sixth, Leif Kunkel ninth. With Isaac McLaren in second, but John's got a pretty sizable lead there over number 2. He looks like he's been handling business. He shot 4, 5, and 6, and he is number 1 on stages 4, 5, and 6. So right now it's a clean sweep for him. I'd have to go and look and see who's coming in this afternoon. We do have the PCC folks, so there's a chance that one of them could knock him out of overall stage wins for those. So, and you have quite a few people coming through there. So, Mr. Mark Schulte being one of them, Bigfoot Brass. So they'll be kicking off around 1:30. You've got Corey Shield, Riley Fox, and you also have Tegan Richmond. So it'll be interesting. I haven't seen much of her lately, so it'll be interesting to see how she does there. Let's see if we can determine anything by these. I don't think we really can from these scores. It's just too early at the moment. People are just barely getting started, so Tanner's close to being done. Whoa. Looks like he has 3 stages left. He has stages 4, 5, and 6 left to shoot. I tell you another one we should look at is Ike Starnes. Let's see how he's doing. Okay. No, he's got an overall on stage 4 and 5 and PCC and 7 and 8. Okay. And okay, so he has looks like 10, 11, and 12 left to shoot, and he will be complete. With a maximum available of 1,505 points. So David Leake, oh, he has a maximum available of 1,503. So they're within 2 points of each other at the moment, hypothetically. Let's see what he has left to shoot. He has 7 and 8 left to shoot. Looks like 7, 8, and 12. What? Okay, so I see what it is. So he's probably started on stage 9. He has completed stages 9, 10, and 11. He has 12, and then he's going to go to the other end of zone B, do 7, and then 8. So, all right. So that's a pretty good matchup right there between him and Ike Starnes, who has been on the Casual Shooters podcast. We've had an episode before, as I have with Mr. Mark Schulte. So I have not had David Leake on. But you can see here all the scores that haven't populated at all. There's your Riley Fox. You've got Corey Shield, Mark Schulte. So you've got Anthony Zabonik. You've still got some very good shooters coming up. So I do want to check a few things because all right, so we have had a few more. We did see Megan Terry get disqualified yesterday. Well, that's poopy, but I guess it's life. So I guess these are all the no-shows. Interesting. Corey is in the the deleted. Maybe he just didn't shoot. I'm sure he's there at the match because he's one of the range masters. So it's him and Dan Click. So I guess Jake Martins didn't shoot either. He's removed. Okay. All right. So that's where we stand at the moment. That's overall. Well, that's disappointing to actually live stream someone getting disqualified. Not not how you want to do that, but I guess that's part of life, part of reality. Life at the major match. Okay. So I'm just kind of waiting for Jay to upload some video and stuff, and then we can play it. Wow. So breaking news. Jay just texted me and said Grosby and Wampler are throwing in the towel. Apparently the weather's bad enough that they are gonna call it a day. Wow. Okay. There you go. You heard it here first. Live. Practical Shooting Live announcing major news. Two of the individuals that we expected to compete for the overall limited optics win have bowed out of the match. Can't say that I blame them. I mean, I think it's always I don't it's hard for me to say. Say it's if it was Delmarva, they would probably continue shooting, but they would have more of their gear with them because they would just drive there. I don't know if they flew to Columbus because getting to Columbus from where I am, I say Columbus, actually Cardinal Shooting Center is about an 8-hour drive from here. So Dave and Kevin, they may have carpooled together, they may have flown, I don't know, but uh, when you're trying to compete in that kind of weather and it's not a nationals, is it is the sport is about having fun, and at that point, is it having fun? That's an individual decision that has to be made. So I don't blame anybody one way or the other. So Mark, if you are still watching, there you go. Now you know what you have to look forward to. I'm trying to see. Are they? Oh, they would be way down here anyway. Yeah, right now Wampler is 38th and Kevin Grosby is 39th. So they haven't even really shot enough to make a dent yet. I don't even know if they shot stage. Let's check. Well, first off, did they ever finish the scores on stage 6? Look, I'm still missing scores from stage 6. So, I don't even know. Let's go to stage 1. And it looks like, I mean, for scores that have come in, only one person on that squad has completed stage 1. So I'm wondering uh, Yeah, Jay just said, yeah, huge news. Don't totally blame them. No, I definitely don't blame them either. So let me find out if they're even shooting stage one. All right, we'll find out if they're going to shoot stage one at all. I doubt it. I think if they threw the towel in already, that they probably are doing it before they shoot stage one. So, I mean, all your gear just gets completely soaked, and who knows what they have. They may have stuff in their bags they don't want to get soaked. They don't want it to get ruined. So who knows? Had to mute Jay. Let me let him know. Potter. Okay. So, I mean, that'll give you an idea of how bad the weather is there. That people that are actually going there with an opportunity to win um, their division, limited optics in this case, aren't even completing the match. Now, Tanner Dunges, who I would say is now the favored to win the division, he had the opportunity to shoot, or his schedule was Friday afternoon, Saturday morning. So even though he's shooting in the rain, at least he already had half of the match complete. So let's see what he has left to shoot. So he still has 3 stages left to shoot: 11, 12, and then 7. So he seems to be doing quite well. All right. So it makes me wonder too if anybody else is going to be leaving the match early. It would not surprise me. I think the people who shot yesterday afternoon are probably going to complete their morning shoot and then they'll be done. So it won't be as big a deal. But for Dave and Kevin to be there for 8, 9 hours getting soaked, I can see why you would throw it in. I think it's a harder decision to make too. You know, when you've traveled that far, that also makes it a very difficult decision to make. So, but again, if well, even if they flew, they would probably have a rental. In Cardinal, you can't bring, your vehicle's far enough away that everything's just going to be out in the open getting soaked. So I usually have a cart that I bring. I put all my stuff in a cart, and then I have a big beach umbrella that it's attached to the cart. So I can keep my cart in the shade or out of the rain. And I usually have a small stool that I can sit on so I'm in the shade because Heat and I, we hate each other. So I try to keep out of the sun just because heat and I prefer cold weather over hot weather. So Mark, what happened was Dave and Kevin Dave Wampler and Kevin Garospi have decided to call it a match after shooting stages 4, 5, and 6 because of the weather. So they have packed up, um, and they will be headed back here to Virginia. So they have decided not to continue shooting in the Ohio weather. So Ohio weather 1, Dave and Kevin 0. Looks like Jay has uploaded some video. Let me see what Jay uploaded video of Dustin Potter. I'm gonna assume that it's stage 1, but I'm gonna confirm before I actually put it up there and we watch it. Just wait. Well, you know what? Let's just yeah, maybe. Us Ohio boys love this stuff. DJ Dave Devils had to make an account to comment. That's soft. Oh, Mark and Dave both. That's funny. Yes. All right. So we do have some video of Dustin Potter on stage 1. So I'm going to fill that space in just a moment with the video here. Let's see. I've got to figure out. There it is. Doesn't support entire sharing a tab. All right, so let's change this because we want the audio. So let me just. Why is it only give me? That's weird. All right, we're going to do something different here. I'm going to try to open this in Chrome because it doesn't want to, well, shoot. I don't know how to go back and open this in Chrome now. Do. Okay, so he's got a couple videos now. Well, let's see here. All right. So, being the first time that Jay and I are doing this, there are definitely going to be some challenges here that we're all going to have to just kind of live with for a moment, but I'm getting there. All right, so let me open up. You might even hear me typing. I don't know. Depends on how. Okay, good. There we go. All right, now if I open this up, that was quick. Boy, that thing wanted to get going before it even started. All right, so now I'm hoping Boom. There we go. Oops. Yes, that's what we want right there. All right. So here is the video of Dustin Potter on stage 1. Brought to you by Jay Slater. Camera on a stick. Wet and not warm. All right. So there you go. That was Dustin Potter. Now, I am going to, let's go. Oh, come on. This is the one thing that I wish I could have multiple screens that I can share at one time and make it a little bit easier. There we go. All right. Now, so let's go back. So we saw his, wow. What? Now, how crazy is that? We just watched his run. And now, look, it takes time for the video to upload and get to the file, the folder where I can share it with you. And they don't have the score in uploaded to practice score yet. Okay. So I was hoping we could then, there we go. Now it's there. All right. So we just watched it. Stage 1. 20.89 seconds is his time with 25 alphas, 5 Charlies, and a single delta for a hit factor of 6.7496. Yes, I said niner. So, okay. So currently, of everybody who has shot stage 1, he's at 100%. All right. Okay, there. So let's compare them there. So Tanner Dungus also has completed stage 1, as did Joey Sauerland and Isaac McLaren. So there you go. So Dustin Potter actually had a very good run on that stage. Let's compare times. Oh, yeah. I mean, his time, he was only 0.3 of a second slower than Tanner. And he actually had 2 fewer Charlies, same number of deltas, but he had 2 more alphas and 2 fewer Charlies. So there you go. It gave him, as of right now, he's about a 1.5% lead over Tanner on that stage. And Tanner is done, so that won't be changing. You have to go down to 4th place Isaac McLaren before you find someone without a delta. So, but great run for Dustin. Good job. You never know how these things are going to turn out. I do have another video with Patrick Puchala. However, and we'll watch it. However, shoot. However, apparently the timer didn't catch it. See, weather causes all kinds of problems. So, oh, the video is still being processed. Well, let me see if I can download it. That's a good thing about having FiOS and being hardwired to the internet. Come on, did you already? Oh, there we go. All right, let me see if I can. And he does have, he's going to be getting John Vlieger on this stage too. So I'm going to expand this here so we get a bigger view of it. There we go. Now we're going to, nope. Oh, you got to be kidding me. All right, so it looks like we're going to end up having to do this with no audio at the moment, or we have to wait because the video is still processing in Google Drive at the moment. So you know what? I'm actually going to wait. We'll wait because I would rather we get the audio with it. I think it's a better option. So we'll leave that up for now. And once it is okay. And look at there, perfect timing. So it is done processing. So let me remove from scene. Yes. And let me go here. Come on now. I'm just going to put it like that right there. All right, here we go. Patrick Puchala.
Are you ready?
Stage 1.
Stand by.
Okay, so let's take a look at that. It looks like he went paper first. Okay. Come on, video. All right, so here he is coming into position. And he's going to engage the paper first and then the steel. So it looks like he had 3 shots on the right steel, 1 on the left. And then he turns his attention to the paper target on the far side of the stage that you can't see here. But there's a right over in this. Sorry, I don't mean to give anybody seizures, but there's a paper target right over in here that you can't see. It's off the screen, and that's where he turned to and engaged before moving forward. He did get the other steel 1 for 1. He engages that paper, comes over. There you go, right there. The forward falling steel right there. And the rest is just paper from here out. So it's definitely a little drizzly, not too bad. It doesn't appear. So wet, but not horrible. So there we go. Okay, so it looks like we do have John's, but so this is what I was saying. So you can see where the title is just a number, even though Jay has given them a name. So I have to wait for that number to change to the actual shooter's name, and then I know it would be done processing. Well, it's only for 44.9 millibytes. Megabytes, millibytes. Wow. I just made up something. Megabytes. So that means John's run was quick. So, but remember, Pat has to reshoot that stage because the timer didn't pick up all of the information all the time. So, oh boy. So it is what it is. All right, let me go back to here, share, add screen. That was weird. All right, let me just do a quick. Oh, so Jay said he's coming back to the stream. He missed us. So once I see Jay connect back, I'll add him and we'll switch scenes here. So let's do that. Wow. Goodness. John pushed everybody down significantly with his run. So, goodness. All right. So we'll wait for Jay to come on. You know what? John's is done processing. So how about we share it real quick while we wait for Jay. Oh, there is Jay. Let me Jay, you look wet.
Yeah, the weather has not gotten better. Standing out in the rain as opposed to under the shelter of my car here really hammers home what. It's not great shooting weather. We'll put it that way. It's one of the less fun sets of weather conditions I've shot this year, and I did a lot of shooting in the winter. So in Pennsylvania.
That's a weird one.
Yeah, running
Okay.
running the overhead camera. My fingers are pretty cold already. I'm sure it's tough, guys with metal frame guns.
Right. I hear you. So what was the at what point did Dave and Kevin decide they were done with the match?
I think it was on the way down from stage 60 here. I believe they shot on the previous stage, and then they called it a day after getting down here. So,
Okay.
which, like I said, I don't totally blame them. This is not whether I would be shooting in for fun. At least if something's on the line, I would probably stick around. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I
There's
don't blame them. However,
yeah.
however, I will
There's
say they've caught a lot of flack in the comments.
oh, I believe it. Yeah.
uh,
So I
that's
will say
funny.
as well, Cardinal has a reputation. Oh, it always rains at Cardinal. And for me personally, I suppose gotten fairly lucky on days when I'm shooting. I've had rain, yes, but never just a properly rainy day. And I think this qualifies. This is a pretty properly rainy day.
Yeah, this is like nationals. So,
Yeah. Well, I think the one national I shot here that rained, it was only briefly. Like toward the end of the day, we caught some, and otherwise it was fine. The rain in Talladega last year was actually much worse as far as intensity and duration.
right. I want to
Yeah.
say was it Kerry? It was one of those. I thought it was at Marengo, and it was one of the half day
Yeah, I think you're right.
squads.
I think Carry Optics was very very wet one year. I think that was the year I worked potentially.
Yeah, I want to say it might have been an afternoon, and then they had to, it just rained for like an afternoon or a morning, and then, but so one group of shooters had to shoot in the rain, and that was it. But I mean, that's what happened. So
Yeah.
that's part of being in an outdoor sport. And Buckeye Blast is Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, or all day Saturday. That's the format.
Yeah.
Okay, that was I was answering a comment, by the way, Jay.
Ah, yeah.
So it looks like
I
John had a heck of a run on stage one.
Yeah, it was an excellent performance. Have we seen the video yet? Or
No, it had just finished processing, so I could show it. But you came into the studio, so if you want, we can play it right over top of this and then talk about it.
yeah, sounds like a plan.
All right, we'll do that. There we go. All right, let me hit share screen. There we go. Share. I'm just going to play it right over top of us. I'm not even going to worry about resizing it. And here we go.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Yeah. What was it you were saying, Jay, about control the steel, control the match?
Yeah, very much so. So you'll notice I don't think he didn't go 1 for 1 for steel on that stage. There was a makeup on the steel in the second position, but it was a very well called makeup, and it was almost immediate, which is, uh, the next best thing to going 1 for 1, and maybe even something that if you're going at a match win based in open, you need to do every now and then. You need to be willing to drive the gun fast enough to I don't know, maybe 1 in 10 or 1 in 20 times have to get have to fire that second shot instantly for the makeup. Yeah, so actually, I talked with John. I showed him his video, talked with him very briefly after his run, and yeah, I think he was generally happy with it. He said he wanted to move a little bit more coming out of that first position on those two targets off wide to the left. But I
Mm-hmm.
think he rolled through the kind of the windshield wiper transit target off to the right. Came in
Yep.
very cleanly into that position at the back of the first shooting area. Like we said, took that one makeup on steel, but it was called an instant, so not really much of a time loss there. Good shooting on the exit, and like you said to me, it is just two positions in that box there. So you can come in, uh, you can get 4 or 8. There's some way if you the two places you can stand, you can get all of the 12 shots in that back box in two places.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question, but I'm going to have to preface it first because this is a 0 to 100% chance of a DQ where if you're in, if it's just a stand and shoot stage and everything's in front of you, your chance of DQ is like 10% or less. Unless you do something crazy, that's why I still say, 10%. You'd have to do something crazy to get disqualified. On that stage, when you run to the right, you hit the paper, the far paper, the two steel, you swing left, you get the paper on the left. That first target on the right, there's a lot of them that look like they're about a 160, 170-degree angle at those targets. What would be the risk of a DQ on those targets?
The two out to the left or the one back to the right?
After you shoot the far ones on the left and you move forward, you got the two on the right through the wall.
Oh, okay, the two right by the Excalibur banner at the kind of in the middle
Yeah.
of the stage. I think it's pretty okay. They're obviously they're a pretty wide target, but if you by the time I think even on the 180, you're already foot faulting pretty substantially. If you're shooting leaning out on the exit, I think you're going to be pretty okay. I don't know that it's even possible to get them from an unsafe angle, as long as like 1 of your feet's in the shooting area.
Let me see if I can. Here we go. I'm fast forwarding John's video so you can see where I'm talking.
Hmm.
Here we
Well,
go. All right,
I can't see the stream, but yeah, for the audience certainly.
Oh, okay. All right, I will
Yep.
I will share it and then I will again, it's actually the third array that you would shoot, okay? At the
Okay. Yeah.
beginning. So you go to the very first position is the far paper and the steel. The second is the far paper on the left-hand side. Then you start moving down that corridor. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You're only going to move about, it looks like 8 to 10 feet. And on the right, there are paper targets. And I'm looking at John's still photo right now of the video. And he's twisted over pretty good to engage those targets. There's also like 2 barrels right there. So there's a break in the walls and 2 barrels with paper targets, what looks to be up against the wood wall the wood berm.
Yeah. So there are 2 sets of that. I believe there's a single target that is further uprange, and then there's a pair of targets that you take right as you're leaving the first shooting area. Are we talking about the one in the middle or the one in the back?
The one in the middle.
Okay. Yeah, that one is also fairly close, but again, I think the barrels are placed to take it away. So it's something you could possibly go on if you are on the move and you maybe stick around as the targets leave your vision. But I don't think there's been anything on this stage so far today. Anything of a DQ sort of nature.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm actually going to text it to you.
Okay. Let's see. That's unfortunately on the
That,
phone that I'm currently using as my camera.
oh, of course.
Yeah.
There's
Maybe
always something.
I can look at what it. Yep. I'll just have to switch to the other screen real quick, and it'll be a black screen on my end while I take a look at the photo.
Okay. Oh, goodness. So here you go, folks. This is the challenging part of live streaming and doing this.
Yeah.
But yes.
Honestly, we probably it might have been something we could have prepared for a little better, but at the same time, you never spend all your time worrying about the worst case scenario.
Right. Well, and the thing is too, I mean, you can't plan for every single contingency, and and once we go through it, we'll have more experience for later and we'll know what to do. So did Dave or Kevin, did you get a chance to talk to them before they walked out of there?
Spoke very briefly to Kevin. He was kind of saying goodbye to the squad, and he said it's more or less it was just too much. Feels like 40 degrees and rainy is, as we were saying, not pleasant match weather. And
Okay. All right.
yeah.
So do you have any idea at the moment how far behind they are?
So Squad 201 just finished stage 1, and that I believe was their 4th of the day. So, whatever time it is now. Yeah.
Right. I can pull up.
Yeah. So compared to whatever time they're supposed to be on stage 2, which is where they just walked up to.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay, so they're about 30 minutes behind. Whereas yesterday we were about 30 minutes ahead. Now we're 30 minutes behind.
Yeah. Honestly, 30 minutes behind in these conditions is not bad at all.
No, and the good thing is it's not going to affect the afternoon start or any of that. So, and they can still get a quote unquote 30-minute break for lunch and resume and be back on time again,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
As far as things go, it's a pretty good pace, all things considered.
Did you bring waterproof shoes?
I am a proponent of waterproof socks, personally. That was something I got off of a Ben Berry podcast a while ago. The problem I have with shoes, I tend to like fairly light footwear. I feel like I move better in it. and I don't want to even if it's ready, I don't want to compromise necessarily compromise my movement ability by wearing, say, like big, like ankle height or higher boots. So I wear like a nice usual low cut shoe. I'm wearing just they're like kind of hiking boots, like low cut hiking boots right now. I usually wear trail runners for matches, and I've got like nice mid calf length waterproof socks. So the shoe is not a protective layer anymore. It's just well, it is. It's not a waterproof layer anymore. It can get as wet as it wants.
Okay.
Yeah,
The one thing I
this was
do
a
like
lesson, I think.
about go ahead.
I think I picked that one up after. I think I picked these socks up after the 2023 IPSC Nationals, the one that was rained on pretty hard in Florida.
The one thing I do like about waterproof footwear, though, is it won't saturate all the way through to the inner compartment. So there is a weight difference with water saturation between waterproof and non-waterproof. So
That is true. There is that. Although for almost every condition where I feel like I would have wanted waterproof shoes in the first place, I'm splashing enough in puddles that it just gets up over the ankle anyway, or over the top of the shoe, unless they're again fairly tall shoes.
unless they're hip waders, come on now.
Yeah, that's the stuff. It's not quite that bad, but I have seen and heard of and experienced at least something that where waders might not have been a bad idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we're down. Looking at the puddle over there, we're down to like a light sprinkle. Maybe we're gonna get a clearer patch. But again, I looked at the radar earlier, and it is not tremendously promising, I think is a way to characterize it.
Yeah, and I mean, it just looks like the whole weekend is just going to be wet and dreary.
Yeah. Well, so Squad 201 is now on stage 2, and I was scheduled to kind of follow them through these first 2 stages at the range. I think I will probably end up doing that. But we can keep the same thing going. I'll try and get some video of competitors, get that up to you. We'll, of course, catch Leaguer's run and maybe chat about that once I'm back on. I see they're in their walkthrough, and Leaguer's kind of in the middle of the order, so I've got a little bit of time still.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the videos are definitely helping out for sure. So I think that's a good thing.
Like I said, it's not the livest we can be, but it is still pretty live.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And honestly, it's probably the kind of thing that if we had like an army of helpers, we could do that on a lot of stages at once, and then have like a studio show. Rather than being in one place live, just constant highlights, highlight after highlight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we could, I mean, we're supposed to go live here again shortly, so we could always. Let me look at the. Yeah, I mean, we're scheduled to go down here in 25 minutes and then be back up at 1:15, so we can do highlights at that point.
Yeah, I don't think I have my. I don't think I am. Never mind. I said I wasn't sure if I was signed into the right Google Drive account for this, but it turns out that I was. So I can. Oh, there we go. Go and see if I can find my schedule matrix. There we go. So I think I said, yeah. I was hoping. No, I guess I actually only had one batch of shooters today I was going to cover in the morning. These 102 and 101 and 102 guys. So, or 201 on 101 and Squad 201 on stage 1 and stage 2. The cold may be getting to me a little bit there, but I am going to gamely soldier on and see if I can't get, like I said, some more of this squad that I was hoping to. It was going to be kind of my main target for the.
Well, since we're so close to the end anyway, why don't we do this, Jay? Why don't we just take a break and come back early after the like we're scheduled right now to go live at 1:15. Maybe we come back at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, that could go.
That'll give you plenty of time to get video.
Yeah, I think I will have to probably end up following 304 this morning, or 304 for that time slot, because I wanted to do 308 down on the other range. I don't think that's going to be very likely at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But we'll figure that out when we
304.
get there. And yeah, 304 is the PCC squad, I think, and 308 is
They
open.
they are, and they're on zone 1, so that would work out well.
Yep. Yeah, that's the zone. Like I said, I'm pretty limited to today, even though there are
Right.
some fun ones down on zone 2.
Right. All right.
It
Well,
also
why don't
occurs to
we
me.
go ahead?
I was one last programming note before we close it off for now. With the handheld camera, I might be able to get some good footage of stage 4, the activator stage, with 3 different moving targets. Coming over the shoulder is much easier there than overhead, because the the moving targets are all covered by little houses to keep them dry. And
Okay.
yeah, it doesn't work well with a drone, but it will work, I think, pretty great with the handheld camera. So maybe we'll take a
Okay.
look at that and see if we can't get on there for the afternoon.
Yeah, I like it. All right, so let's
Yep.
plan. I'm going to put something out. Let's plan on being back at 1, and that'll give you almost an hour and a half to get some video, upload some
Warm up.
stuff, dry off. Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right. Well,
All right.
we'll
Sounds like
see
a plan.
everybody back at that time. All right, Jay. We'll chat
All
in a
right.
little bit.
Yep. See ya.
Bye. All right, everybody. I'm going to let you go for now. And you've heard we'll be back at 1 and not 1:15, but I'll post something on social media to let everybody know. And we'll have some more video to chat about, plus the ones we already have. And hopefully it'll be a little bit drier. All right. See you at 1.